lot of the young people that came in are no longer content consumers, right? So the old model is, you know, everybody that comes into your campaign, you put them on the phone, you put them on the doors, or they're licking envelopes and sealing envelopes and sending off mail. But a lot of the young people, we looked at them as content creators because they grew up in the age of knowing, you know, Photoshop, and they would know Illustrator, they would know blogging platforms, they were developers. And so meeting people in the lobby at 1 a.m. in the hotel that we were working at and asking them, what do you do, turned to be a very valuable thing for us. So asking that question to young people specifically, you know, what do you like to do? What's your hobby? What skills do you bring to the table? Can provide immense value for the campaign, and it gave me a lot more time, which is the most precious commodity on a campaign.
It's really important for us to not have, you know, people in their 40s and 50s trying to figure out how to communicate with young voters, but young voters trying to figure out how to communicate with young voters, and that was pretty rare at that point in a campaign.
When you're talking about those issues like the economy, education, healthcare, there's also making sure that you're explaining to young people the pieces of those issues that directly and uniquely impact them. So Steve was talking earlier about making sure that when you're talking about healthcare, you're specifically talking about the provision that allows you to stay on your parents' insurance until 26. That when you're talking about education, you're specifically talking about investments in community colleges, national service, and higher ed.
Young voters need to make sure that 2008 wasn't their only deal. If you're not voting in, you know, a 2009 special or the 2010 midterms or your school board elections, your county elections, your state legislative elections, all of these elections, it isn't about showing up in a presidential year, it's about showing up all the time. If you don't show up all the time, you haven't shown up. Just one presidential is not enough. And I think that's a real empowering message. And it's to take it right back and say, it's not just that candidates aren't speaking to us, it's that we're not showing the political power that we have, that we had in 2008. If we don't show them that we have that same political power that we had in 2008, they're not going to speak to us.